18 months into the pandemic, and the U.S. continues to be the global COVID hotspot. It's currently averaging around 70,000 new cases every day, and that's put the issue of vaccine mandates front and center, with protests continuing against them. Critics have labeled the measure unfair and extreme. In New York, hundreds of first responders and city workers gathered in front of the residence of the city's mayor to demonstrate against mandatory vaccinations. It comes after Bill de Blasio earlier ordered all public workers to have at least one shot of a jab by 5 p.m. local time this Friday. Those who fail to show proof of their vaccination will be put on unpaid leave starting from next week. Firefighters say they just haven't been given enough time to make a serious decision.
On Wednesday, October 20th, the mayor extended vaccine mandates to all public employees, eliminating test-out options. 9 days is not enough time for people who have mortgages, who has families, who have sick children to make a life-changing decision in only 9 days.
Well, you can add to that reports of mass resignations as well. And as a result, the city could see 20% of its firehouses close, as well as 20% fewer ambulances on the roads. Well, meanwhile, the country's health authorities are still urging people to get their vaccines. We spoke to David Haggith, a publisher of the Great Recession blog and contributor to more than 50 financial news websites. He says he was fired from his local government job for refusing to get a jab, despite already having, get this, natural immunity from a recent COVID infection. My colleague Daniel Hawkins picks up the story.
Well, I have an underlying health condition that makes it so that it would be risky for me to take that. And I explained that to my employer, the Lummi Nation School, trying to get an exemption based on the CDC's medical exemptions, but I wasn't successful at getting that. My feeling is that as a person with chronic fatigue syndrome, many people with that illness have had serious repercussions from taking the vaccine. So I didn't wish to take the vaccine. Plus, I already had COVID, so I don't see any need to take it.
Just tell us a bit more about your daughter-in-law, because we understand she also didn't want to get the vaccine. What was her exact reason for that decision, which also obviously put her at risk of losing her job?
Yeah, she works at a Peace Health hospital, St. Joseph's in Bellingham, and she was terminated because she refused the vaccine because she's pregnant. Now, the irony here is that she works in the obstetrics ward of the hospital, and they won't give, any leeway to somebody who's pregnant, even though the drug has not been tested on pregnant women.
Well, a reminder, the World Health Organization is recommending people do get a shot, saying only mass vaccination can bring an end to the crisis.
Vaccines save millions of lives each year. Vaccines work by training and preparing the body's natural defences, the immune system, to recognise and fight off the viruses.
Meanwhile, the state of Florida is suing the Biden administration over its vaccine mandates for federal contractors. But the president is not relenting, saying compulsory vaccination for state workers is a must. David Haggith again says it just leaves people with zero options.
Yeah, it's a choice, but it's already forced on me. Now, the Biden mandate doesn't kick in, I understand, until sometime in December. But many state governments, as is the case with my state government, are anticipating that and have imposed their own mandates with shorter deadlines. In my case, I work for a tribal school, and they're not under the state mandate, but they have put on their own tribal mandate based on what's coming from the Biden administration and the state that, is sympathetic to that point of view, that also requires people to be vaccinated in order to work there. They supposedly allow exceptions for medical reasons and religious reasons, but mine wasn't granted.